Hey y'all, it's football season, one of my favorite times of the year, and right now we're gonna cook us up some football food. Easy cheesy, El Gando. Y'all come on in the kitchen. I'm so glad it's football season. I look forward to football season every year. And when I was even a little girl with my sisters, we would sit on the couch and watch football games. Yes, we did. We people in the South, in the deep South, we love our football. And you know what you got to do when you got football and you got people coming to watch football? You got to have some football food. So let's pull some up. In my book, Happiness is Homemade, we're going to be making Easy Cheesy El Gando, which is on page 49 of Happiness is Homemade, y'all. And you know what? You can order this book on Amazon and it'll come right to your house. And lots of good recipes in here. And one of our very favorites is Easy Cheesy El Gando. Y'all, I've given this recipe away so many times. And it'll feed a crowd. It'll feed about 10. And so that's pretty good when you got a lot of people coming over to watch football. Now, if you're thinking, what are you wearing, girl? I'm going to tell you, this is my husband's football jersey. My sweet husband, David, he played football almost his whole life, growing up, and he was a great football player and one of the cutest ones I've ever seen in my life. And I tell you what, I was a cheerleader on the sidelines and he was playing football on the football field, and it was just a match made in heaven for us. So we've been high school sweethearts, and I've cheered for him all these years, and I'm still cheering for him to this day. But anyway, one thing I do to help on football season and to keep us all happy is to make us a good recipe. Before I move on to the recipe, let me just tell you, please go on YouTube and Facebook and subscribe or like me on YouTube and on Facebook. Please do that. And also, to find these recipes, if you don't have the book, you can go to www.dannastandridge.com. And remember, you can buy this book right here. It'll come right to your house and you'll have all these terrific recipes at Amazon. So Happiness is Homemade, y'all, at Amazon. All right, now let's get to cooking. Now the thing we're going to do is we're going to go through first everything that you need in this recipe. Now you need 2 pounds of meat. Sometimes I use ground beef, sometimes I use turkey, depending on what they had to, were selling at the store. So I've got 2 pounds of ground turkey right here. Sometimes I use deer meat, so deer season's coming up and I'm not fully stocked yet on deer meat. We've eaten most of that up because we love it. But anyway, you need 2 pounds of ground meat. Now, if you're using turkey, you may want to add about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and you're going to want to cook it in some olive oil, so you'll need that. So we will brown the ground beef, and I'll get to that shortly. You're going to need 2 cans of diced tomatoes. You're going to need a can of Rotel. You're going to need 1 package of chili powder. Now, I make my own, so this is 1 package. Is equivalent to 1 package of chili powder that you would buy at the store. You're going to need some yellow rice, and yellow rice, you do need yellow rice. You can make it with the other, but it totally changes the way it tastes. To get the perfect football food, you're going to need to buy a little thing of yellow rice. And you just cook this up separately. And I'll do that shortly, but we'll get the rice cooked up. So you're gonna need to cook up a bag of this yellow rice. You're also going to need some cheese, and you're going to need a can of cheddar soup. And you're also going to need half a cup of milk and some chips to eat it with. Some people eat it like a dip, which is what my family does. And we use these kind of chips. And some people want it like a casserole, and they sprinkle corn chips on top, and it's delicious either way. And you're going to want some extra things like jalapenos, jarred jalapenos, and tomatoes and different things to sprinkle over the top. And I think you're really going to love this. So these are the things we need, and let's get started cooking. Okay, If you're back with me now, you can see that I just put the rice on. Now, all you need to do on that rice is cook it according to the package directions. So that's the yellow rice, cooking according to package directions, and that's that. And now I've got to cook the ground beef or ground turkey, which I have today. So I'm gonna move you over to the pan and we're gonna cook the ground beef. But you know how to do this already. You put about a tablespoon or two of olive oil in the bottom of the pan for ground turkey because there's no fat in it. So you put that in the pan and then you put your turkey in about on medium and you start cooking it. And yes, ma'am, you do need to add a little salt and pepper, and we'll do that. And when it's ground turkey, I always add a little Worcestershire sauce because it just helps the flavor. So I'm gonna move you over there and we're gonna cook this ground turkey up and then get ready to do the rest of the meal. See you in a minute. Okay, folks, I am cooking this meat, and as you can see in here, let's look in the pot. It is looking good as some of it's starting to brown. Now remember, I added about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to get this cooking. And you'll need to salt it a little bit, you know, to your family's liking. But remember, if you put the Worcestershire sauce in it, there is salt in it, so don't go whole hog wild on it. Just put a little bit. We'll taste it a little bit later and see if it's salty enough. If it's not, we'll add some more. And also add some pepper. Something I forgot to tell you a while ago is about my other cookbook, Time to Eat Y'all. You can also find the recipe for Easy Cheesy El Gando in this cookbook if you have this one. Now remember, this is Time to Eat Y'all, and it's the one I did in 2019 to celebrate the state of Alabama's bicentennial. So it's in this cookbook as well. Now these are sold out, so if you want to get the recipes I currently have, I moved my recipes out of here into another cookbook and added more funny family stories and more recipes. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm cooking this meat right now. And the next thing I gotta do while the meat's cooking, we're gonna work on our cheddar cheese soup. So we're going to take our cheddar cheese soup and we're gonna take our half a cup of milk. I'm gonna mix those together and heat them up in the microwave. No problem. And you guys can do that. It's real easy, and there's no need for me to show you, but I'll show you what it looks like when I get through. So half a cup of milk, cheddar soup. We're going to mix it together in a bowl and pop it in the microwave. All right, see ya in a second. All right, as you can see, this is getting more and more done, and there's still pink in it, but it's brown, getting browner, and I'm going to stir that in just a minute. But first I want to add my spices. Remember, it's just a thing of chili powder, and I make my own, so I'm gonna just add my chili powder in. Oops, spilled a little, it's all right. So I'm gonna sprinkle this in and get this stirred. This chili powder has cumin, this chili sauce has cumin, chili powder, oregano, salt and pepper, and of course it's got cayenne because I like to spice it up when I'm eating anything spicy. I like it spicy. So anyway, got this going. We're going to stir this in and let this infuse into the meat. And so I'm going to continue cooking this and see you in a second. Oh yeah, this is looking really good. And you know it smells so good. We're gonna have some good football food. Whether you're making it before a high school game or a college game, you need some good food. You don't want anybody getting ill because they're hungry. So you gotta make sure they're not gonna do that. All right, this is looking so good. Well, the next step in this process we're gonna do is add our tomatoes. We're going to add 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes, juice and all. And we're gonna add 1 can of Rotel. Those peppers make it so good that's in there. So now we're just gonna stir it together, and we're going to cook this until it the juice kind of cooks down and it concentrates, mixes with all these good spices in here. And y'all, it's gonna be really good, I promise. I would not lead you wrong on football food. Or any kind of food as far as that goes. It smells yummy. And just think, we're gonna add that beautiful spiced rice to it, and we're gonna add cheese, and we're gonna have chips and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be so good. I can't tell y'all how many times I've made this or how many times I've given the recipe away. It's a big hit, and it's a good thing because you can feed a bunch of people with it. You know, you take one of these, you've got a lot. They're going to be full. They're going to be happy when they get through eating this. And you will too, because it makes you happy when people like your food. Okay, now what we got to do is just let this bubble away until the juice cooks down. So that's what we're doing, and I'll be back shortly and show y'all how we're going to put all this stuff together. Hey y'all, let me show you what's going on. We've got our soup. It's all heated up over here and ready to go, the stuff we mixed with the milk. And we've got our meat here, our meat mixture, and it's cooked down a good bit. If you'll notice, there's not as much liquid left. The reason you want to cook out a lot of liquid is twofold. One of them is that it'll make your food taste better because it concentrates the tomato juice. And another reason is you don't want it too runny on people's plates. So that's twofold why you want to cook that down. And, you know, if worst comes to worst, I've been in a hurry before, just like you probably have. If worst comes to worst, just dip it out with a slotted spoon and you'll be fine. But try to cook it down if you can, if you've got time, because it's going to taste good. And let me show you the rice. Look at that good looking rice. It is spicy, and it's got saffron in it and some other spices in it. It is really good, and it just makes this dish. So you're going to love that. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to move you over there, and we're going to put this beautiful football food together. See you in a minute. Well, we're getting ready for football, and here's this football food, El Gando. Now, I've got all the components ready now. We're going to assemble it in our 9x13 baking dish. Now, I went ahead and sprayed it with a little bit of cooking spray. Let me go over how we're going to assemble this. We're going to put half of the meat mixture, all of the rice, the rest of the meat mixture, and then we're going to put the cheddar soup that's mixed with milk, and then we're going to put on this beautiful cheddar cheese. So that's what we're going to do, and let me just get started. This smells so good. I love football season. Everybody in the South, not everybody, but almost everybody in the South sure does love football season. We love to cheer for our teams. It's great. It's great. Whether you're Alabama or Auburn, whether you're cheering for Air Force Academy, which my son graduated from there, or Mississippi State, my other son graduated from there, or Athens State, who has no football team. That's where me, my daughter, and my husband graduated from. So those are the different places that we love. And of course, Wallace State, the junior college near us that is so good to us, love all of our colleges and universities and adore our high school football. All right, so I've got the meat in there. I'm going to go ahead and get the rice in. Now, y'all, all of this is hot, so you're not going to want to even have to put this in the oven because it's so hot. The cheese will melt when you get it on there. But now, if you have to cool it down like you're cooking it for the next day or whatever, you can go ahead and cool it down and put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day you pull it out and turn your oven on 350 and put it in there for a good 20 to 30 minutes and check it, and when it's bubbly and hot on the top, it'll be ready to eat. And you're going to have some happy football fans no matter what happens in the game. They're going to be happy because you cooked them a really, really good meal. Okay, we're just going to easily spread this out with our spoon, and we're going to put the other layer on there. Other layer of meat. Ooh, yeah, this looks yummy. That pan's heavy too. I love cast iron. I get a workout every time I use it. Y'all know I love my cast iron. All right, we're spreading this out, and we're fixing to make it even more luscious by putting on this cheese. Now remember, we mix that cheese, the cheddar soup together with the milk, and we're just going to pour it over it. Try to get it all spread out. Now, y'all, this makes it so moist, yummy, delicious, and cheesy. That's the reason this is called Easy Cheesy El Gando, because it is easy and it is cheesy. And I've been making this for years and years and years. Feeding a lot of people. Ooh, they're going to love me. My family's going to love me for this. All right, now we got to put the cheese on top. Now, you know, you can put whatever kind of cheese you want. The recipe calls for cheddar, and I have some cheddar in here, but I also put a little pepper jack because Mama likes it spicy down here in the South. So here we go. Just load it up with that beautiful cheese because your family's going to love it. And it's protein, right? Milk product protein. We're being healthy. Okay, we have got ours on there. And before you know it, this will all be melted. Okay, now I'm going to give you a little hint about what I do. I usually pop it in the oven and let the cheese get good and melty on top because I like it when it's running and ooey and gooey. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll pull it out in just a minute, and I'm going to plate some of this up, and you're going to see how good this looks and how you want to buy it. So you might as well go make you some. So anyway, see you in a minute. Okay, y'all, here it is. Pulled it out of the oven. It is bubbly. And see, I did turn it on broil so my cheese would get kind of, you know, browned. I like it like that, but you don't have to. You can eat it straight off the way we had it earlier, but this is really good. And let me show you how I eat it myself. I'll sneak a little bit so we can I can show you how good it is. Now what I normally do is like to have it in a plate that I can sit in front of the TV and watch football. And this is what I have. It's some of my lovely brown drip. I've got me some in this right here in this beautiful little dish. And you know how what I like to put on mine? I like sour cream, and I like a lot of jalapenos. So I'm going to do that now. Doctor it up a little and show you how it's going to be. Of course, I love sour cream, and if you don't like it, just leave it off. But that's how I like to do it. And of course, beautiful, beautiful jalapenos. Of course, the very largest one goes on top of the sour cream, and the rest of them I just spread around. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So this is how it looks. There we go. And I'm fixing to take a bite and let you know what it tastes like. Now I like doing mine like dip, so this is how we're gonna do. Ooh, yum. See the meat? You've got the meat, you've got tomatoes, you've got the rice and the cheese. Can't go wrong with this, can we? Ooh. You know it's good if it runs down your chin. So whether you win or lose, keep your football fans happy with some easy cheesy El Gando. It's really good. All right, folks, I've enjoyed talking to you today and letting you know about some of my recipes. And you know, I love you, and the good Lord loves you too. Let's keep praying for our country. And I would say, from my heart to your kitchen, love you, and y'all enjoy these recipes. Bye now. Go Wildcats.